Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. All right, this is Aratazah, back again with another video through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to do a quick video on basically going into the seasons, in particular spring, okay? Because what kind of inspired me is that the date today is so-called April 1st, which people deem April Fool's Day, okay? In which we who are in the know that when you look up the origin of so-called April Fool's Day or April 1st, it's because why? The people have been fooled and they've been duped into thinking that the so-called New Year begins in the dead of winter, okay, or as we know, January 1st, and that's a complete lie, man. Okay, the real and true New Year, okay, or when the year truly begins is during the time of the spring, okay, when things become new, when things become refreshed, when the plants start to bud and grow and things of that nature, which you're actually going to see in this definition I have on the Edom Online. But I just wanted to bring this out because it goes back to the doings of the so-called white man, who's Esau Edom. And he's the culprit to why the time and everything is all screwed up, man. All right. So I'm going to start with this definition from the Edom Online for spring. All right. I'm going to go to the noun version. It says spring, season following winter, first of the 4 seasons of the year, the season in which plants begin to rise. You see that? The plants begin to rise, man. Okay? Because why? It's new again. Now, in the winter, basically, there's no life, all right? Things are dead. It's cold. You know, most people don't like the winter. You know, for the most part, you know, people are indoors. You know, there's not too much going on. You know, the days are very bleak and grim, so to speak, you know. But now what? After that comes what? Spring, okay, when all things spring forth. Now, check this out. It says, I'm going to skip down. It says, to the middle part, it says, act or time of springing or appearing, the first appearance, the beginning. Okay, it says the first appearance, the beginning, birth, rise, or origin. So that's clear. That's clear and to the point, man. Okay, so spring is what? It's the origin, it's the birth, and it's the beginning of what? Beginning of the year, man. Not January 1st. All right, and that's a whole nother lesson going into why they put January as the beginning of the year. Okay, it basically goes back to the Greek goddess Janus. Okay, which is the god of the beginnings, I believe. That you go into Greek mythology, you'll see the origin of that, man. It's all rooted in idolatry and witchcraft, man. Okay, but the truth of the matter is that we're actually in the beginning of the new year right now. Okay, and that's where the origin, truthfully, of where April Fools comes from, man. Okay, because the people are basically fooled. All right. Okay, let me keep reading. It says the notion of the spring of the year, when plants begin to rise, as in spring of the leaf, 1520s. It says the Middle English noun was also used of sunrise, the waxing of the moon, rising tide, sprouting of the bread or pubic hair. Okay. But I think that's pretty much it. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much the point, man. You know? So what? The origin, the birth, or the rise, or the beginnings, man. This is when the month begins. Okay, and basically just to add in, how does one govern time, or how do you tell the seasons? You keep track on the moon, man. Okay, pursuant to Genesis 1 and I believe the 14th verse, the Most High created 2 lights, the sun and the moon, and they're supposed to be for what? Signs and seasons, for days and years, man. Okay, these calendars as again, was all set up by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. His calendar's all screwed up and jacked up, man. Okay, you got months like October. Okay, which the actual name October goes back to Spanish, which is ocho, which is 8. But on the calendar, October is what, the 10th month. Then you got November, which is the 11th month. But the word November also goes back to Spanish, which means 9, man. So these months are all screwed up and jacked up, man. And who's to blame? Once again, Esau Edom. Okay. Now I want to hit a quick scripture. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 13. I'm gonna start at 1. The point is in verse 4. It says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both man and of beast, it is mine. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of the hand of the Lord brought you out of this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten." Okay, and where brothers have basically just kept that feast, man, the feast of Passover and the feast of unleavened bread. Okay, we were celebrating this particular event. Okay, it says, verse 4, "This day came ye out in the month Abib." Now, when you go to that word Abib, all right, because the month Abib is basically the first month of the year. Okay, so the word there is the Hebrew word there is Abayab. Okay, it's Abayab. And they have here fresh young barley ears, barley, month of ear forming, of greening of crop, or growing green, Abib, month of Exodus and Passover, March or April. All right, and we celebrated the Passover in March, man. Okay, now notice it says what? Growing green, greening of crops, and we read it in the Edom Online, is what? The rising or growing of plants, man. Okay, let's go down to the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. It says an ear of corn, a green ear. All right, to give scriptures. Now I'm gonna skip down to the bottom portion. It says, beginning at the new moon of April of March, according to the rabbins or the rabbis. Okay, it says the first month of the old year. You see that? As instituted on coming out of Egypt. So what? It was the first month of the old year, man. Going back to what? Going back to the ancient times. Okay, during the time when Egypt, all right, in Exodus, when we came out of Egypt. Okay, the month of Abib was basically stamped as the first month of the year, and that's why I said what? The growing of crops and of barley and of corn. Going back to the Edom Online, also it said what? The rising of plants, man. So this is what we're in the new year right now, man. Okay, January 1st was not the new year. All right. The new year or the spring of the year is not when it's goddamn 0 degrees outside, man. That's foolishness. Okay, I'm gonna leave off with one more scripture. This is Daniel chapter 7. Slakia. Okay, and I'm actually doing this lesson at the park right now, man. You can tell that this is when the new year begins. All right, it's so-called nice weather. You know, the leaves are growing back on the trees. You see the plants is out, the birds is chirping and all that. You know, this is Daniel 7 in verse 25. All right, it's going back to Esau Edom. Okay, it says Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Now, who's the saints? Saints are talking about the Israelites, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, we're being worn out in this captivity, in this rulership. It says, and think to change times and laws. And the so-called white man has done that, man. You know, he's changed times, he's changed laws. Okay, that's why we know that this society is wicked and evil, because the so-called white man doesn't uphold the law, statutes, commandments of the scriptures. He changed all of that, man. And he also changed what? He changed time. Okay, that's why people now, they're thinking that the new year is January 1st and not in March or April, man. When what spring comes in, when all things spring forth and all things are made new. Okay, it says, finishing off, it says, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and in times in the dividing of time, which is currently right now, because we're given into the hand of the so-called white man for a possession. And that's why we're patiently waiting on our Savior to come to save or to rescue, if you will, us out of his hand, man. Okay, so that's talking about right now. So he changed what? Times and laws. That's why everything is ass backwards and screwed up, man. And the people out here are duped. You know, they're duped, they're fooled. And at one time, we was all fooled, but the Lord had mercy on us to basically wake us up to this truth, man. All right? So, yeah, so Lord willing, that was edifying. I just want to bring that out real quick. Okay? Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kwadash. Lord willing, to the next video. Shalom.